Arts in Depth is brought to you in part by Riverside Theater, Vero's professional theater at Riverside Park. Call the box office at 772-231-6990 or visit riversidetheater.com.
Arts in Depth, a 1/2-hour television program presented to you by the Cultural Council of Indian River County. I am Barbara Hoffman, Executive Director of the Cultural Council and your host for this program. Thank you so much for watching. Our community has an abundance of art and culture. Seldom, if ever, can you pick up a newspaper, a news magazine, or a Vero Beach focused magazine that does not have large sections devoted to the arts. The mission statement of the Cultural Council is to promote those cultural arts in Indian River County through education, collaboration, marketing, programming, and advocacy. My guest today is Willi Miller. Welcome, Willi. Willi has spent many, many years promoting arts and culture, not only in Indian River County, but throughout the Treasure Coast, and I'm sure she'll tell you some other places as well. Willi, welcome to Arts in Depth. You are the voice of the arts in our community, where you promote the arts through several media. So please share with us all that you're doing right now to promote the arts and to help the Cultural Council in its mission.
Well, a lot of what I'm doing right now is courtesy of the Cultural Council of Indian River County, because I have the opportunity to produce a radio show once a week. And let me just jump back, if I could, to, I think it's 96 or 97. A lot of people, I think, won't have heard of Bob Betcher, who was the entertainment columnist in the local papers, the Scripps papers, for many years. He's passed away a few years ago now. But when I had the opportunity to go to work for WQCS, Jim Holmes asked me to come down there in Fort Pierce.
And this is a public radio station.
It's the public radio station, and produce, it was starting with Arts Spotlight. His vision was 5 minutes a day, 5 days a week. Okay, nobody was doing that at the time. Bob Betcher arranged an interview with me. We went to Golden Corral, and he said, "I'm taking notes because you are the first full-time arts reporter on the Treasure Coast, and I want to know how you think you're going to fill 5 days a week, 5 minutes a day."
Oh, what an exciting challenge he had in mind. Oh gosh.
It's an indication of how things have changed since that time. Jim Holmes had the vision to see what was coming, or what could come, to the Treasure Coast, and he went ahead and hired me to do that, and it evolved. That was 97, I think. It evolved into Young Musician Spotlight, many other programs that not just promoted the arts, but promoted local performers, musicians, artists. So much has happened today that I think was founded on that very beginning back in 97.
What changes we have seen over those 18 years.
Absolutely amazing. Absolutely.
And it just seems like the last few years that the print media has really truly understood how important the cultural arts here in Indian River County. Well, Willi and I can talk hours about this subject. We'll be coming back after a very short break.
Bay Street Pharmacy in Sebastian invites you to see our new selection of holiday cards and gifts. For more than 30 years, Bay Street Pharmacy has been your neighborhood pharmacy and one-stop healthcare center, offering prompt personal service, home delivery, and a dedicated staff that treats our customers like family with care and compassion. Now we have wonderful cards and gifts for the holiday season. Bay Street Pharmacy, where caring people care for you.
Arts in Depth is brought to you in part by Riverside Theater, Vero's professional theater at Riverside Park. Call the box office at 772-231-6990 or visit riversidetheater.com. I'm
back with Willi Miller, the voice of culture and arts in Indian River County. She is doing presently many kinds of things to help us promote the cultural arts in our county. Can you tell us some of the things you're doing now?
Well, I've again been fortunate to have been asked to do the arts and entertainment column for the Indian River County. Actually, it's online, the tcpom.com, and it's not just the print version here in Indian River County, to promote so many things that are going on here, and you know better than anybody what this atmosphere is like. So I have the newspaper column.
That's once a week.
I have the radio show, and you know, I do something that a lot of people don't take advantage of, and I'm not sure why. Every weekend, every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, if I know something is coming up, and there's always something coming up, yes, I'll go on my Facebook page and I'll say, oh, don't forget. And so many people don't do that. It's such an opportunity to just casually mention that something is happening this weekend, something's happening tonight. Don't forget it, because people do. There's a lot going on. And I hear from a lot of people that way. Thanks for reminding me.
Terrific. That's great. I'm
now,
glad
I don't tweet. I don't tweet, yeah, and I'm not on Instagram. Facebook is an excellent way to get it out. But
right,
mostly the newspaper and the radio, the Cultural Council, Cultural Connection with Willi Miller. Do some casual writing for magazines and things.
Mm-hmm. So she is tapping into this new social media, and even the Cultural Council has a website, and we promote a lot of our
absolutely
our members' programs through Facebook as well. You are right that it's really the media for a large part of our population. Going back a little bit in the history, I was quite fascinated with that. When and how did you become so interested in the arts and culture so that you can speak as the voice of culture?
Well, as far as the profession goes, it was mostly a matter of being in the right place at the right time and saying, yes, I can do that. My family background, my aunt in Philadelphia was at that time a fairly well-known musician and artist. The arts are in my family, sort of, but I never had any formal training, no encouragement actually to pursue it. But I remember summers in my aunt's art studio in Philadelphia, and I guess the seed was planted. But as far as doing it, promoting the arts professionally, somehow when I lived in St. Thomas in the Virgin Islands, I was asked to do a radio show, which turned out to be like this, a conversation with people in the community who do things of this nature, arts and whatever. It was a question of saying, yes, I can do that. I had no idea I was able to do it, and that's how it got started. And that carried me into Miami when I moved up here to a part-time position at WTMI, which was then the classical music station. Oh. And that's how it all,
that's one little step at a time. Right. Well, we're going to be back in just after a short break with hearing more from the voice of arts and culture.
Join Marsha Littlejohn nightly at 5 and 9 on VeroBuzzTV.com.
Hi, I'm Carolyn.
And I'm Jim. Together we are the Live Now real estate team at RE/MAX Associated Realty.
We know the Sebastian area real estate market very well, and we also know that buying or selling a home can be very serious business.
But together we can reduce the stress and even have fun in the process. Along with our hundreds of satisfied clients, we really want you to live now and be happy too.
Contact us at thelivenowteam.com.
See you soon.
I'm back with Willi Miller, the voice of arts in our community. You have promoted events for so many individuals and organizations in our community. What are some of the events in which you are especially eager to get that information out to audiences?
I think probably the events are those that encourage children to develop an interest in the arts and music, to get them out and make it easy for them to see that it's a possibility, to enjoy it, because that's, the children are the future. You know, as the population ages, the only thing that keeps the arts going is the people who support them, people who buy the tickets, who take courses, who buy the products that an artist produces. And you've got to start younger. And something that's interesting, I think, in the past decade probably, I think the organizations are catching up. Okay, that might be a little simplistic, but they're more eager to share their knowledge, what they have, and bring the children in. I'll just use Space Coast Symphony Orchestra, even though he's based in Brevard, but they spend so much time here. They give free tickets to so many people, 18 and under, or anybody who has a student ID. They make it possible for people who don't have the income to buy tickets, to pay what they can. All of the things at the Vero Beach Museum of Art that are done for children to bring in the kids' arts, the story times, even the stroller tours of the galleries, everything, so many things are bringing families out to observe the arts, to make it okay. We can do that. It's a good thing for our children to be doing it.
Absolutely. There has been a strong emphasis on children and getting them involved in the arts because it is so important for them. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But talk about the importance of the churches in our community as venues, and their musical directors are all professional musicians.
It's amazing what has been happening. Community church has, for longer than I can remember, probably longer than I've been in Vero Beach, has been a popular venue. They always had the concert series, and they did the remodeling, so it's absolutely wonderful concert hall. Christ by the Sea Methodist Church, I can't name them all, but they have embraced the idea of sharing what they have with the community through concert series, lecture series, and the dynamic, I'm calling them the dynamic trio of the young men who have come to Vero Beach as professional musicians, but as music directors and organists and choral directors at the churches. It's absolutely, it just floors me what they have done. I
know, it's really wonderful. We had Ryan Kasdan on one of our Arts in Depth programs, and he talked about all of the things that he is involved in, things starting, from bell ringers to, concerts to choral groups. Oh yes, it's wonderful.
And enthusiasm. It's a wonder to see.
Yes, it really is. So we're very excited about what's going on in our community. We'll be back to talk more about it after a short break.
Arts in Depth is brought to you in part by Riverside Theater, Vero's professional theater at Riverside Park. Call the box office at 772-231-6990 or visit riversidetheater.com.
The Furniture Man is a locally owned business that has served the needs of the community of Vero Beach and Indian River County for over 30 years. Here at the Furniture Man, we offer fine pieces to furnish each and every room of your home. Specializing in Floridian style, come browse our selection of bedroom, dining room, patio, and living room. Come explore over 10,000 square feet of showroom, where you can find mattresses, recliners, sofas, dining, and more. Visit us at 673 US 1 in Vero Beach, Monday through Saturday for all of your furniture needs.
I'm back with the voice of culture and arts in our community. Riverside Theater and Vero Beach Museum of Art and McKee Botanical Garden are major cultural institutions in our community. Willi, tell us about their impact in the community and the variety of the offerings of each of those big three institutions.
We don't have anywhere near enough time, Barbara, to talk about what these organizations have done for this community. Just their existence. For one thing, they have attracted attention to Vero Beach. People are coming here because we have places like the Vero Beach Museum of Art and Riverside Theater and McKee Botanical Garden. And we have the Vero Beach Opera, we have Environmental Learning Center, the Emerson Center, so many, Vero Beach Theater Guild, so many other places that impact the community because they continue to grow. They have developed and evolved over the years. Vero Beach Museum of Art, for example, is doing the moonshot moment now. We talked about very briefly about the stroller tours so that moms and dads with little kids can bring their kids to see the exhibits with no pressure. Nobody's complaining about maybe there's a little crying going on. The lecture series for all of, basically everybody has a lecture series now, and they sell out. So there is so much culture that all of these organizations have done, and it's a physical thing too, the physical plant. Riverside Theater continues to, it's such a beautiful place to be, and the Live in the Loop. Things just keep evolving because there's a need in the community. There's a willingness to accept it, and that gets everybody to take, maybe we can do one more step. Keep on going. And
what's so interesting about these organizations is that they invite other organizations to use their venue or to share in some of the activities that they're doing. So the collaboration in this community is something that's very special.
It is, and are we going to talk about the Cultural Arts Village at all, which is going to be a collaboration? Is that going to be down the line?
Well,
that needs to be mentioned.
Yes, we are going to talk about the proposed Cultural Arts Village in a couple more segments.
Okay, an example of what we're talking about, the collaboration, the joint interests, the Celebrate the Arts that the Cultural Council of Indian River County does. It started out just as some booths in the park, and then Riverside Theater is now doing a big thing. Vero Beach Museum of Art is opening up its doors and setting up special programs on Celebrate the Arts Day. It's
actually the whole concept of the Celebrate the Arts Festival came from the museum, Riverside Theater, and the Cultural Council. It was a collaborative effort, so they've been in it from the very beginning. And we have well over 100 Cultural Council members that are in the park that day. It is a lot of fun. Lots of good music and everything going on.
And we have to mention Jacob Craig, who is one of the dynamic trio of the music directors at the churches. He's a bagpiper, and he played the bagpipe all that day. One time I heard on the audio, bagpiper, looking for the bagpiper. But anyway, we'll be back in a few minutes after a short break.
Join us for an adventure weekdays at 4:30 and 8:30 on Buzz TV Network.
Bay Street Pharmacy in Sebastian invites you to see our new selection of holiday cards and gifts. For more than 30 years, Bay Street Pharmacy has been your neighborhood pharmacy and one-stop healthcare center, offering prompt personal service, home delivery, and a dedicated staff that treats our customers like family with care and compassion. Now we have wonderful cards and gifts for the holiday season. Bay Street Pharmacy, where caring people care for you.
Arts in Depth is brought to you in part by Riverside Theater, Vero's professional theater at Riverside Park. Call the box office at 772-231-6990 or visit riversidetheater.com.
Willie and I were talking in the last segment about the Riverside Theater, the Vero Beach Museum of Art, and McKee Botanical, and other of our major organizations in our community and what they mean to our community, especially to the children in our community. Willie, there's a lot of education that takes place in this community as it relates to the arts. Can you tell us about some of them?
Well, when we mentioned Riverside Theater, I did not say anything about Riverside Children's Theater. The classes, the workshops, the professional training the children get there, and we're talking about from little on up to high school, and they come back. The museum has a marvelous art school, and that's for adults, but they also have the education for the children. They do an outreach into the schools. Riverside does that as well. What do they call it? Riverside Children's Theater on the Go. And they have developed a relationship with the city of Fellsmere. They don't end with, here's a ticket, come in and enjoy a show. They are giving back to the community in so many ways.
That's right. And the museum has its kid camp, its kids camp during the summer to educate and help young children learn the importance of art and feel the importance of art. One of the things that I received from the Americans for the Arts, of which we're an active member, are 10 reasons why we should support the arts. And we're going to talk about a couple of these. We're not going to go through all 10 of them. But, you know, one of them is that arts drives tourism. And you mentioned that earlier when you talked about that people come from far and wide in order to hear and see what's going on here in Vero Beach. But arts also have a social impact. What does that mean to you when we say that, you know, the impact that arts has on the feelings and the discipline and the people in our community?
Well, so you put me on the spot there.
You'll be able to handle it.
Let me throw that back on you. How do you think it has it affects people in our community? Other than giving them enjoyment, how does it elevate their feeling about themselves, about our community?
I often use the word self-esteem. And I know when we did an impact study of the cultural arts industry in our community, one of the things that happened to all of those participating in the cultural arts or affected by the cultural arts was a strong feeling of self-confidence and self-esteem, and saying, you know what, we're no longer the poor, starving artists. We are an economic impact in our community. And what's very interesting is that study showed that in the average community, 2.2% of the population is involved in the cultural arts. In our community, 4.2% of our population is involved in the arts and cultural industry. And that's significant. It's more than Chicago, which is only 3.8%, but it's a little bit less than New York City, which is 4.6%. So we have an incredible number of people in our community who are involved in the arts, who participate in the arts, and it brings about, I think, a strong self-esteem of everyone in our community to know that we are so rich in arts and culture.
And it does good things for business.
Absolutely.
And I think the survey made businesses more aware of what we have here and the need to support it. And I think that's reflected in our membership at the Cultural Council now.
I think so. Our membership has now grown to 300, and we will be back for one more segment in just a moment.
Stop by Patty's Printing and Graphics in downtown Vero Beach. Owner Patty Callahan prints it all, from color and black and white copies to blueprints, banners, signs, prints of paintings, and fine art. Patty makes restorations and creates outstanding graphic designs. Call Patty at 770-1521 or stop by Patty's Printing and Graphics at 2345 14th Avenue. Stop by for all of your printing needs at Patty's Printing and Graphics across from the old railroad station in downtown Vero Beach.
Willie, we have a few minutes left. How do you see the arts growing in Vero Beach?
Well, you know, Barbara, I was thinking about this morning before we were going to talk, and I wondered, Is there a critical mass? Is it possible to have too much of the arts in a place?
I don't know.
I don't think so, but let's find out. You're
out.
involved in something that we really need to talk about because it's such an exciting concept, the Cultural Arts Village in downtown Vero Beach.
Yes.
Where are we with that? How did that come about? To me, that is something that its time is past due. We're ready for it.
Well, it came about because the Cultural Council was looking at a cultural arts center, and we were looking at that beautiful, beautiful building right next to the railroad tracks called the Diesel Plant. And then that ended up in the courts in a litigation with it. It is a city-owned property, but there were difficulties with that. And so we then started thinking, well, maybe we should look at some other options than just a single building with a nice lot on a nice lot. Maybe we should think of something else and look at alternatives. And then we learned about the trains and the increase in freight traffic and the possibility of high-speed rail. And the tracks are going to be laid within 25 feet of the building. So then that became a building that wasn't really what we were looking for. And that we felt that we could hold the kinds of things in that building that we wanted to because of the problems with the trains. And that's when we went around the whole state looking at other options and came up with the concept, many have them, of the Cultural Arts Village. And we have moved ahead with that. We are strictly, totally partners with the city of Vero Beach. They are solely behind this. And we held what's called a design workshop or a design charrette. It was put on by the Treasure Coast Regional Planning Council, and they have very, very professional planners. And we held this in September, and we had over 125 people participate in a day-long workshop. And then for the next 6 days, the planners worked out of the Hampton Inn, and we averaged about 35 people a day came in to chat with them, see what they were doing. And then the following week, we held an in progress. I mean, this is the work in progress report. And we shared that with the community. We had well over 100 people attending that. So it's been a community exercise, and next week we will be getting the final draft for the shred. It's going to require some rezoning so that people can live in their houses and have their studio space in the houses and can sell out of their houses. It also is going to have lots of little shops, whether they be little ice cream stores or coffee stores or maybe a small little drugstore, but it's just going to be a wonderful village concept. And the community appears to be embracing this significantly. So we're excited about next week, which is going to be the second week of December. And in these 9 months since we started the Cultural Arts Village concept, we have come a long way.
It's a very long way. And I think, has it not kind of built on the camaraderie and the community that the 14th Avenue businesses have developed? And I opened a new subject that I don't have time for.
Right, but anyway, Willie, thank you so much, the voice of the arts in Indian River County, and thank you for watching Arts in Depth, presented by the Cultural Council of Indian River County.
Arts in Depth is brought to you in part by Riverside Theater, Vero's professional theater at Riverside Park. Call the box office at 772-231-6990 or visit riversidetheater.com.
Bay Street Pharmacy in Sebastian invites you to see our new selection of holiday cards and gifts. For more than 30 years, Bay Street Pharmacy has been your neighborhood pharmacy and one-stop healthcare center, offering prompt personal service, home delivery, and a dedicated staff that treats our customers like family with care and compassion. Now we have wonderful cards and gifts for the holiday season. Bay Street Pharmacy, where caring people care for you.